Hey, what up, gang? Boo Boo 617. Welcome back to the channel. So today I just want to go over a few things that annoy me about my X5. The top 5 things that I hate about my X5. Now, the reason that I am so on top of them and the reason that I think that they shouldn't even be a thing is because of the value of the car. The amount of money that this car, the MSRP of it is so high that there are certain things that lesser than cars have. Like a $20,000 car has it standard, and this one doesn't. Alright guys, let's talk about one of the most annoying things about this car, and that is the climate control system. Now this little thing, as little as it is so frustratingly annoying. Now why? Because this is what happens. When you park and you turn off your car and you turn it back on, it automatically turns on to the last setting that you had it on, no matter what. I mean, if you had an AC at 60 degrees, at 80 degrees, whatever it is, it comes on when you turn the car on automatically. There's nothing you can do about it. I got this car coated and it still comes on its own on some annoying stuff. I wish that BMW or someone, a Beamer Code or one of those programs can fix this problem already. Now I'm gonna pull over and demonstrate what I mean. Watch. Pulling over, stop, put the car in park, right? I'm gonna turn it off. Before I turn it off, look, it's off. It's completely off, right? Let's turn off the car. Right? One more time, turn the electronics off. Now the car is completely off. You see the steering wheel going in, all right? Let's turn it on. And it didn't come on. Made me look stupid. All right, so apparently something that I didn't know that I just found out. I guess it takes some time. I probably got to get out the car, lock it, and then come back. I'll try it right now. All right, guys, this is take 2. As you can see, the car is still on. The climate control is off. So let's turn it off. Completely off, okay. Let's go outside. I'll lock it. Okay, wait a few seconds. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go in. Turn it on. And look, bam. It just comes on its own. That is frustrating. Every single time having to, that's frustrating. Believe it or not, as little as it is, that is frustrating. Every single time you get out the car and you go to the corner store, buy some chips, and you got to come back and turn it off. I don't know about y'all, but, and even sometimes I forget it's on, and I'm like, yo, it's kind of hot. No, it's because the heat is on. So like I was saying before, Beamer Code or any of those other programs or apps that code BMWs, I would appreciate it if you guys can fix that, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure a lot of BMW owners hate that, so bring it. All right, guys. So the second thing that really bothers me about BMW, well, my BMW X5 M Sport, and I think a lot of BMWs, this next one, is remote starters. So I did a little research, and what I came up with is that because it's illegal to have a remote start in Germany because of their climate, and they have a lot of the government has a lot of rules and regulations to control climate control and stuff like that, for pollution and other things like that. So they don't want their cars running in the winter like we do here in America. So in Germany, they don't come with remote starts. If you want a remote start for your BMW, it either has to be ordered by the customer. So like, let's say I go to BMW and I request it, like, hey, I want this BMW, but it needs to have a remote start. They'll order it and they'll get it installed, or they'll order it from the factory in Germany or wherever they make them and make sure that they're installed. Or the dealership itself orders a bunch of them with remote starters pre-installed from the factory. And me sitting here with mine, I don't have it. So what did I do? I got in contact with my local shop that does all the electronics on all my vehicles, and they are charging me around $2,000 to do it. And I'm like, $2,000? Why $2,000? That's exaggerated. What they told me is, in the same time, in the same amount of time that it's gonna take them to put a remote start in my vehicle, they could do like 3 other cars, like 3 Nissans, for example. And that, mind blown. I did find another spot in Massachusetts, but it's like a 2-hour drive, and they'll charge me $1,000. So that obviously it's half, but it's still $1,000 for something that the most I've ever paid for a remote start is probably like $500. So I don't think I'm gonna do that. Maybe one day, maybe in the winter, it's just gonna hit me. I'm like, I need it. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But it's another thing that's frustrating, something I didn't know and I learned. And now you guys know if you're watching this. So that's number 2. All right, so number 3 is the tailgate rattle. So I'm driving down the street and I start hearing this rattle noise. I'm like, hold on, what's that noise? I started doing some research on forums of BMW X5s and M Sports and a whole bunch of stuff. Come to find out, these cars suffer from the tailgate rattling. So basically, a lot of people, what they've been doing is they'll go back to the dealership and they'll realign your tailgate. I'm like, dude, the MSRP on this car is so much. Like, really? Like, this is supposed to be premium parts and premium everything. Like, this car MSRP is $77,000. Tell me I'm paying $77,000 and my tailgate is rattling? Nah. So I've even seen that even 2021's X5s right out the lot with rattling noises. Like, that's absurd. I would be so frustrated, and I am. So I got to look into that and see if I could do it myself, or if I really got to take it to get realigned. Let me see if you guys can hear it. Let me see. Well, now that we're talking about the tailgate, let's talk about the fact that BMW, for some reason, decided, oh, don't mind the bag. That's when I switched out the rims. Let's talk about the fact that BMW, when you close the hatch, it slams down. Unfortunately, I can't show you guys because I did get it coated, and now it's real smooth when it comes down. See that? How it stops and it goes click. But before, it would go bang, just slam down. Like, that's pet peeve number 4. What kind of crap is that? Again, an expensive vehicle. It shouldn't be doing that. And another thing, before coating, I wasn't able to open and close it with the remote. Now I can. Now I can open it. Let me grab the remote. So before, I wasn't able to close it at all with this remote here. Now I could press down and it closes. Again, I needed to get it coated, something that is not from BMW. Not cool. Not cool at all. And last but not least, the 5th thing that bothers me about my BMW X5 M Sport is the brakes. The brakes. Let me show you guys what I mean. First of all, look at these dinky brakes. Like, that rotor is too small, and that caliper is way too small for this big vehicle. Like, really, guys? And let's not even, this is the front. Let's not even talk about the rear. The rears are way too small for this car. And on top of that, let's talk about how basic they are. Again, remember this, a $77,000 MSRP on this vehicle, and you're telling me that's the best you can do? The most basic caliper brake setup that you can find, like, this dead ass. Now look at my Nismo here. Now this is a top of the line 370Z Nismo, and look at these calipers. Look at that. Look at that. Now they're rusted up because it was raining and I haven't driven in about a couple weeks. But look at this. Now, yes, this is the Nismo, but the basic, I mean, what, $20,000, $30,000 370Z comes with these. that, like, come on, really, guys? 77,000, 50,000. Granted, 50,000 still a lot, but like I said, the $20,000-$30,000 one still comes with the big brakes. 77,000 with dinky brakes and a huge body, small body with great brakes. That's ridiculous, guys. That's ridiculous. So the thing I'm gonna do with the brakes is I'm gonna paint them. I am gonna paint the calipers, even though I do think they're a bit small, especially with the 22s. Now with the 19s, they actually look decent. They look like they belong. But with the 22s now, they just look too small. I would love to put the X5 Ms on there. I think it will look way better, but they're too expensive, like $2 to $3 grand for the kit. Something to think about, but not right now, guys, not right now. But anyways, those are the 5 things that I dislike about my X5 M Sport. But enough about that. We are now in the Nismo. And I will too do a video on 5 things that I hate about my 370Z Nismo. But before we do any of that, y'all want to hear a dragon roar? Check this out. So yeah, guys, if you like the content that you're seeing and you want to check out more with the 370Z and the M Sport, subscribe, like, Boo 617. We out. Thank you.